On the fertile fields of Arkansas, a silent yet brutal war rages every single day. Our enemy is not human, but an aggressive invasive species, the wild hog. Every year, Arkansas loses tens of millions of dollars as they ravage crops, tear up the soil, and threaten the fragile ecosystem. That's why every one of our trips is more than just hunting, it's a mission to protect the farmer's hard-earned harvests, to restore balance to nature, and to safeguard peace for the community. Join us now as we take you through a day of battling these cunning and destructive invaders. We set off at the break of dawn, not for leisure, but to defend the hard work sown into the land. Each of us carefully double-checks our gear, because even the smallest mistake could render an entire day's effort useless. Finally, the destroyer shows itself, dashing across the dry fields like a raging storm. My first shot was rushed, it split the air, but missed the target. Damn it, too fast. I took a deep breath, steadied the stock against my shoulder, and focused all my senses on the next round. Boom, a clean hit, the echo of the gunshot restoring peace to the tender shoots sprouting on the field. A shaky start, but victory nonetheless. A massive black boar was tearing across the field, aiming straight for the treeline. Think you can escape? Leon didn't give it that chance. One single shot, its entire plan collapsed in an instant, marking the end of its path of destruction. How many points would you give that flawless shot? Out from the towering stalks of sugarcane, a dark giant suddenly burst forth, like an arrow. The window lasted only a split second, but James wasn't about to waste it. One shot echoed, sealing the sweetness of the harvest still waiting in the fields. When the last rays of sun disappeared behind the mountains, that's when the real game began. The night may be their domain, but with technology on our side, the darkness became our ally. In the pitch black, they appeared only as bright silhouettes through the thermal scope. Their feast was in full swing, unaware that death had arrived to teach them a brutal lesson. One shot, one hog down. The rest scattered in panic, fleeing blindly into the endless night. Elsewhere, one hog crouched low in the brush, trusting the perfect camouflage of night to protect it. Mistake. My trigger pull shattered its illusion, along with the fate of a few unlucky companions hiding nearby, restoring peace to this invaded land. Elsewhere, one hog crouched low in the brush, trusting the perfect camouflage of night to protect it. Mistake. My trigger pull shattered its illusion, along with the fate of a few unlucky companions hiding nearby, restoring peace to this invaded land. Do you agree that overconfidence is the deadliest mistake in the battle for survival? Our work is recognized and supported by the Arkansas state government, backed by clear insurance policies, ensuring the safety of every team member. Stay with us on the next journeys to witness how this silent war truly unfolds.
Wild boars, when their population grows uncontrollably, the boundary between nature and humans starts to blur. Devastated fields, ruined gardens, and even livestock no longer safe in their pens. In many areas, wild boars are no longer mere prey but have become invasive threats. That's exactly why we are here in these fields tonight. Hunting wild boars is not just a thrilling activity or an age-old tradition for seasoned hunters. It is a crucial measure for controlling their population. We set out at 10 p.m. The faint moonlight was barely enough to illuminate our path. Our team split into two groups, moving along the forest edge, where fresh traces of wild boars were still visible. Stopping near an open clearing, the rustling in the bushes signaled something approaching. As the thermal scope scanned the area, a herd of about 10 wild boars appeared. Without hesitation, the hunting rifles fired simultaneously. The first round hit its mark. Two boars dropped instantly. Two others attempted to flee, but couldn't escape their fate. About 30 minutes later, another group of wild boars emerged. Moving slowly, they were completely unaware of the lurking danger. We stealthily approached, and once in range, the signal was given. Gunfire shattered the silence. The boars panicked and scattered. Focusing on those that had strayed from the group, we seized the opportunity. After taking them down, we swiftly tracked the ones that had fled. With thermal imaging scopes, there was no hiding. Even the thickest bushes couldn't conceal them. A dangerous hunt, but this was only the beginning. We moved toward a rice field, an area where wild boars frequently scavenged for leftover grains. As the herd emerged, we had only seconds to react. Gunshots rang out. The first boar collapsed instantly. But there was no time to pause. The rest were bolting for safety. Dark silhouettes dashed through the scope. Another precise shot. One shot, one kill. Within moments, our prize lay motionless before us. Wild boars gathered here in large numbers, making it easy to locate them. From our hiding position, we aimed our rifles, waiting for the perfect moment. At the right time, we unleashed a hail of bullets, striking critical points with precision. The alpha boar fell, sending the rest into a frenzy. But before they could scatter, another round of fire ensured 3 to 4 more were taken down. We continued our ambush, taking down several more in swift, decisive attacks. This was undoubtedly one of the most exhilarating night hunts we had ever experienced. Minutes later, another wild boar herd appeared, cautiously moving closer. When they were in range, the team opened fire. 4 went down instantly, and though the others tried to escape, they were swiftly taken down as well. As the night deepened, more wild boars emerged. We fought relentlessly, determined not to let a single target escape. In less than a minute, 5 wild boars had fallen. By now, it was nearly 4 a.m., and the final encounter took place in an open field near a residential area. A large herd of wild boars was foraging. If left unchecked, the consequences could be disastrous. Wasting no time, we sprang into action, taking down our targets. The remaining boars realized the danger and scattered in panic. But in wild, survival favors the swift. One boar was struck down just as it tried to change direction. Finally, as the dust settled, the night returned to its eerie silence. We examined our haul. This had been a flawless hunt, swift, efficient, and incredibly successful.
At the boundary between civilization and the wild, wild boars are among the most dangerous invasive species to agriculture, the environment, and other animals. They dig up the soil, destroy young forests, erode the land, and cause severe damage to nature. That's why we couldn't just stand by and watch. As soon as the first light of dawn touched the mountains, I shouldered my backpack, gripped my familiar rifle, and began the journey to hunt wild boar in the Highlands. This is more than just a hunt, it's a face-to-face encounter between man and untamed nature. Will we be able to maintain the upper hand today? Let's find out together. To begin today's hunt, we headed for the hills, where wild boar often roam in herds, bullying and preying on other wildlife. Our backpacks were packed, our rifles fully loaded, and our team set off. Through the pale shafts of sunlight, my binoculars caught sight of a wild boar sprinting across the sea of tall grass. Each pounding step kicked up dry clouds of dust. Without hesitation, I dropped into firing position, took a deep breath, aligned my sights, and aimed straight for a vital spot. The trigger broke clean. The bullet cut through the air and struck true. The beast collapsed instantly, so fast it didn't even have time for a final scream. From the mountain's crest, I scanned the land below. Suddenly, my eyes locked on something suspicious in the grass ahead. Without warning, a dark figure burst out like a lightning bolt, wild, reckless, fearless. I squeezed the trigger. Shots tore through the morning air. One struck home, and the boar crashed heavily into the earth. My teammate and our dog locked onto the boar's trail. I quickly moved into position, heart pounding as I waited for the decisive moment. Suddenly, the boar charged out from the brush. I fired a burst, the animal staggered, then dropped motionless. Relief washed over me. A second slower, and I could have been its target. A sudden rustle came from the bushes. I raised my rifle, instantly scanning with tense focus. A massive beast burst into the open, racing across the grass. My shot struck true. It stumbled, lost control, rolled across the far side of the field, and lay still. Then from a distance, a massive black shadow charged straight toward us. I held my breath, aimed, and fired. The shot hit its mark. The beast collapsed at my feet, lifeless. The chase reached a wide dirt road when suddenly a boar burst from the opposite field. Instinct took over. Boom, my shot struck dead center. The animal collapsed and rolled into the far field, never getting the chance to escape. Today's hunt ended in complete success, each target eliminated with precision, restoring peace to this land. For us, the war against wild boars never truly ends. They wreak havoc all year round, no matter the terrain or the weather. When they hide in the icy snow-capped mountains and slip into the shadowy snowy forests, the pursuit becomes tougher than ever. Treacherous slopes force us to tread with extreme caution, while the blinding white forest erases almost every trace. But no matter where they hide, no matter how harsh the conditions, our mission remains the same. Stop these beasts before they destroy the crops and the livelihood of the locals. Today, join us on 2 thrilling hunts to see how we dealt with them. First, let's head into the majestic snow-covered mountains of the United States. Armed with rifles, winter gear, binoculars, and every piece of essential equipment, we were ready to take on the icy challenge. The wild boar hunt in the frozen mountains officially begins. After nearly an hour tracking deep prints in the thick snow, the entire team froze in place. A faint rustle came from up ahead. So quiet, the whole forest seemed to hold its breath. I moved closer, raised my binoculars, and scanned for movement. Then I saw them, a herd of wild boars, moving silently in single file across a snowy hillside. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle locked onto my target, a boar in the middle of the group, wading slowly through the snow in search of food. Then, boom, the gunshot ripped through the frozen silence. The boar collapsed into the white snow. Nearby, my teammate David took down another, adding to today's haul. The rest of the herd scattered in panic, charging toward a snowy ridge, right where David was lying in wait. One lone boar broke away from the group, stranded in the blinding snow, and walked straight into my sights. Perfect distance, perfect timing. Then, boom, its massive body crumpled into the deep snow without a chance to fight back. Hours of patience ended in a single second. We pushed deeper into the dense forest, where the snow was churned up, clear signs the herd had just been feeding. Ahead, 2 boars were buried in their feast, heads down and completely unaware. I squeezed the trigger. The shot cracked like thunder. The beast dropped. Instantly, the challenger had fallen. What do you think? Was that a perfect shot? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's head into an entirely different hunt, deep winter in the frozen forests of North America. A perfect hideout for wild boars, and a sign that things were about to get intense. Unbelievable. My hunting dog was pushing a boar at least 5 times its size straight toward me. No hesitation, I pulled the trigger. The bullet was so fast, it was almost invisible, striking the beast dead on. A clean fall. The snowy backdrop made for the perfect final scene. Do you think this shot deserves golden moment status? Comment below. That afternoon, we ventured deeper into the snow-covered woods. Suddenly, a wild boar burst into a sprint across the frozen forest. I tracked it quickly. The open clearing ahead was the perfect place to end it. The first shot rang out, boom, breaking the stillness of the forest. The boar slid and collapsed in the icy snow. Not far away, David took down 2 more. As the daylight faded, the last light filtered through the old trees, carrying a chill and a rush of adrenaline. I lined up for the final shot of the day. The first bullet missed, my heart skipped a beat. The boar spun and ran. I quickly followed with a second shot. It crashed into the brush and fell. Brutal, yet spectacular. On the other side, a single shot from my teammate claimed another life just as cleanly. And the most important thing, every moment happened within the bounds of the law, respecting nature and ethical hunting. This wasn't just the end of a forest hunt, it was the pinnacle of skill, patience, and honor that only a responsible hunter truly deserves. And just like that, today's hunt came to a close. The team returned with plenty of game, wide smiles, and relief knowing we had eliminated threats to this land.